Hey guys, today I'm working on a set of used floor mats that I got for my C6 Corvette. They're a little rough shape, nothing horrible, but definitely the paint's faded a little bit on the fabric. It's turning from black to green. So today I'm going to work on cleaning them up. And a while back on my Chevy Trailblazer, I actually used some fabric paint from AutoZone that did pretty good. And I've been curious to see how it would work on areas where it's a little heavier trafficked areas, where your feet go. Obviously one of the mats is going to be under the driver where my heel pivots a lot, so I'm curious to see how that holds up. But if nothing else, just to kind of refresh them, get them looking nice again. And even if I only get a little bit of time out of them, I only spent like 30 bucks on them. Usually these things are like $180, so I figured, what the heck, it's worth the shot. Try to clean them up and at least use them for a little bit of time. So here's actually the mats. As you can see, little rough, especially this is the driver's side right here where the heel of the previous owners was, kind of digging into it. And you can see kind of through here, it's definitely a very green area instead of black now, just from everything kind of wearing and tearing on it. And then even the emblem, it's a little rusty looking. This one actually on the passenger side wasn't too bad. It could use some cleaning, but I'll also recolor that just again because some of these areas the green is kind of going away or pulling out from the black. So and then one other thing I'm going to work on or try to figure out. You can see here where it's kind of wore out heavily from their use. I'm going to see if I can't find something that kind of fix this up, at least so that way it's not wearing through and hopefully not eating up on the fabric on both sides. Obviously my feet are going to be there and wear it out, but I'd like to keep it from happening on both sides. So that's my goal with this. Start cleaning these up a little later. I'm going to go pick up some of the paint and kind of mask some things off and kind of go from there. So let's see. All right, so after some brief cleaning, mats are looking a little bit better. Definitely the passenger side, it was, like I said before, it wasn't in rough shape necessarily. The emblem looks really good. I mean, it's still a little wet right now, but the emblem's turning out pretty good. I think once it dries, some of that color will come back. The driver's side, not so bad. Still definitely this big spot here. The camera may not pick it up quite as well, but it's definitely noticeable standing here looking at it. But honestly, overall, just doing this little cleaning has definitely seemed to help it. The emblem here again, and these are floor mats. I do realize, guys, that this is not going to be a perfect thing and it's going to always stay pretty. So please note that these comments aren't really meant to be anything other than just like letting you guys know from actual this side of the camera kind of thing. But overall, looks pretty good. Just in case you guys were wondering, for these, I am using Turtle Wax. Just picked this up from AutoZone, but it does have OxyClean in it. With the brush on it. I don't personally like the brush. I think they're kind of nice for just kind of getting things started, get it into the fabric a little bit. As you probably saw in the video, I like using these brushes with the attached to the electric drill. These work really well. I picked them up off of Amazon. I think I got a set of these and a bunch of other pads and stuff that I use around the house for like maybe 25 bucks or something like that. And honestly, they do an amazing job and they go everywhere, house cleaning, car cleaning, anything like that. So honestly, I really recommend those. So yeah, next is I'm going to make a quick run to go get some paint and stuff like that. Let these dry. Hopefully by the time I get back, these will be ready, at least for me to start masking off some stuff. And and go ahead and start painting. We can go to the next steps of this. So just getting out of AutoZone, I ended up picking up some gloss black vinyl and fabric. Again, I used a gray version of this on the Chevy Trailblazer. It has a little storage parcel that was a little faded and just kind of had seen some better days from previous owners. So I used that on there, and honestly can't even tell anymore that, you know, it's been painted. So I was pretty impressed with how it turned out. So that's why I'm trying this on the Vette. Like I said, the big test is going to be, you know, how much do your feet wear out, because this is going to be used, the mats are used way more than that parcel is. Matter of fact, the parcel's sitting in storage right now. So, and then the other thing I'm going to try, and I'm not sure if I like this, but for the rubber portion on the bottom of the floor mat, I got basically some undercoat that like you use in bed liners and stuff like that. I'm thinking, since it's just a light thin coat that I need, let that dry. That should work for what I need out of it. It was the only thing I could really think of, but if you guys have any other suggestions, definitely leave them in the comments. I think my biggest concern is the smell from this. I know outside on the beds of trucks that I've been around, you don't smell it, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything, because, you know, that's outside. So I'm curious to see how it'll work. I'm gonna go very light on that, just enough to protect the bottom is all I'm looking for. So yeah, again, if you guys got any other suggestions, I have no problem taking this stuff back off. You know, even if it's just a temporary fix for a long-term problem. So yeah, if you got anything, let me know. Other than that, back to the house. So that's the video for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. I apologize for the issues of not recording during the entire process. It is definitely something new for me to grab the camcorder as I'm doing these kinds of projects. So I will definitely work on that moving forward and actually catch, what I'm doing. So hopefully you guys can see and feel free to take on these kind of tasks going forward. The As for the mats, I think they turned out great. Overall, that product does very well. I'm curious to see again how it holds up, and I will definitely update you guys after a few months of wear and tear on them. Unfortunately, the car doesn't tend to go out much during the winter. I tend to take my Trailblazer for that kind of the nastier season, if you will. So, uh, but I will, once next summer come around, and especially after some heavy use, I will definitely let you guys know how that turned out. Two things I didn't capture that I definitely wanted to let you guys know about. The first one is I did do the rubber coating that I showed you guys in the video. I did do a pretty heavy coat, and then I ended up actually spreading that with a putty knife so that it filled in the holes as well as covered the areas that I was looking to cover. And hopefully that'll work, just like I mentioned, for keeping water out from getting down to my carpet as well as wearing out both sides of the mat. The other portion is that while I like the paint, it definitely creates almost a crusty feel to it. So what I ended up doing after the paint dried is I took the brushes that you saw in the video with the drill and kind of went over the carpet again to break up some of that paint on the fiber. It seemed to help. It's definitely not as soft as it once was. Under my feet, I don't really feel it too much, but definitely with my hands, if this was in an area where my hands maybe brushed against or, kind of sat against on a regular basis, you would definitely notice that. So I definitely don't think I would use it in those kind of areas, but for this or like a cargo space area where, it's just gotten dirty from cargo and stuff like that, I think it works really well for that. Or if you're just not picky, whatever. So yeah, I don't really plan on doing much with the vet, if I'm honest, kind of going forward. This one was a bit of a rare one, more so I had something to capture and kind of go as a linear process through video editing and stuff. Again, this is my first time doing all this type of stuff. This channel is going to primarily focus more on me and the ZX14 that I have. I hit up the drag strip pretty regularly, during the summer and warmer seasons. Now that it's in wintertime, this channel will be more focused on building it up. There's a number of things that I want to add to the bike to get it ready for next drag season. So basically, I just want to capture everything. I'm not looking to go pro, nothing like that. It's just more of I have a great time with friends. Family comes around pretty frequently to these events, so I just wanted to capture something, and hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. Speaking of enjoying it, if you did like what I've showed and about the vet and you guys are more interested and it keeps you coming back, let me know. Actually, it's a pretty interesting story of how I bought this car and a bunch of the issues I have had with it, primarily dealing around the dealership. And then the build kind of per se to get it back up to where I wanted it to be. So if you're interested in hearing that, let me know down in the comments. I'm not saying I won't do anything with the vet. It's just right now it kind of sits where I want it for the most part. So minus some minor touch-ups here or there. Really, honestly, it's not too much that I'm going to probably do with it unless I end up with a ton of money at some point to install the cam and upgrade the stall converter and stuff like that. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, liking, subscribing, and turning on notifications for my channel would be greatly appreciated. Until next time, stay safe.